Hi everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making the king crown. This crown is part of my Halloween costumes that I'm designing for my son Nasser. This is for part of his costume. So this will fit between I would say 4 to 9 month old, but it is really stretchy and you could probably make it fit up to a year-old baby. And this would be great for not only Halloween costumes but also a photo prop, or also like a first birthday celebration for the photos. I think this is super adorable. You can add the fur or leave it out, and I show you and give you tips and tricks on how to make this bigger or smaller. It's just in a multiple of 9, so it's very simple. So I have to say a huge thank you to Red Heart Yarns and Yarnspiration for sending me these yarns for this project. We are using for our main part here, this is Super Saver, Red Heart Super Saver yarn in the color gold, which is perfect for a crown. And then we are using this fur yarn in the color mink for the fur. This fur yarn is actually, we're not crocheting with it, we are sewing it, so don't worry about not being able to see any stitches. We're just sewing it kind of like a whip stitch all the way around to make this embellishment, but we will be doing the crocheting with the crown area part, so the main part here. And that is going to be used or crocheted with an H size hook, which is 5 millimeters. This fancy crochet hook is from the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. This is an H size hook. It's fixed in the handle. These are hand carved and ergonomic, and these are lightweight crochet handles. You can get these at the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. There's a link in the description of this video for you to purchase your hooks from there. I use these in all of my tutorials. I love them so much and I can't promote them enough, and everybody who's bought from them has said that they are so wonderful and easy to use. So thank you to everybody who's supporting the Would Be Fancy Etsy shop. You're also going to need a scissors and a yarn needle to cut yarn and sew in some ends and things like that. So those are all the supplies you're going to need. Like I said, just check out the written instructions for sizing information if you want this bigger or smaller, but it's very simple to make. And a big thank you to my dad, who's behind my shoulder here helping me videotape this and edit this and post it up on YouTube for everybody. Before we begin, check out all the links in the description of this video. There's a link to all the supplies as well as all my socials, so make sure you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all those places, so you can see the discussion and behind the scenes clips of what we do here at YARNutopia. Alright, that is all I have to say for this intro. Check out the written pattern and let's begin the king crown. Alright, let's start out with your crown color. So I'm using gold. We're going to make a slip knot, so put your short end over the top of your long end, then fold this down and pull your long end through and pull tight. Insert your hook and we can begin. So let's start off by chaining 54 or any multiple of 9. So yarn over and pull through. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm not going to make you watch me chain 54. So just chain 54 or any multiple of 9, and then I'll show you what to do for row 1. Alright, I chained 54. You can chain any multiple of 9. So if you wanted to chain 45, 54, 63, so on. You could do whatever number you want. Once you have your multiple of 9 chained, chain 1 more. Okay, just 1. Just like that. So I actually have 55 chains. And now what we're going to do is half double crochet into the second chain from the hook and each chain across. And what I personally like to do is turn my chain toward me and work into these back ridges of the chain. But you can work in any loop of the chain. So yarn over. Okay, the loop on the chain, or on the hook, sorry, it does not count as anything. So count 1, 2. This chain right here, I'm going to turn it toward me and go into that back ridge. Then yarn over and pull through. So we have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And that's a half double crochet. So we're going to half double crochet into each chain on this row. So you will have your multiple of 9 as your stitch count. So I will have 54 stitches at the end of row 1. So as you can see, yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, just like that. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to go on to row 2. Alright, I just half double crocheted across, so this is what your work should look like, just a really long strand here. So now we're going to do our repeat. We are going to chain 1, turn the work around, and half double crochet into each stitch across. Whoops, just like this. Half double crochet. The chain 1 in the beginning doesn't count as anything, it just gets you to the next row, and you should have your same amount of stitches across. So I'll have 54 stitches across for rows 2 through 5. We are just going to half double crochet across, then chain 1, and then half double crochet across, and do that for rows 2 through 5. So I'm on row 2 right now, so I'll do that until I finish row 5. Once I'm finished with row 5, then I will come back and show you how to make the spikes. Alright, I just finished row 5 here, so this is what your piece should look like, just one big strap. So now what we're going to do is make the points of the crown. And what we're going to do now is work with single crochets. So we're going to chain 1 and turn the work around. And we are going to single crochet into 9 stitches. So go into this very first stitch here, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, there's 1. Next stitch, 2. Here's 3. Whoops, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then what we're going to do, so this is row 1 of the points of the crown, okay? So in written pattern, this will be considered row 1. Going on row 2 of the crown, we are going to leave these rest of these unworked. We're going to chain 1, turn the work around, and just work across these 9 stitches, just single crochet across in each stitch. Okay, so 9 stitches across here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then chain 1, turn your work around. So this is row 3 now of the point here. We are going to single crochet 2 together. So we're going to go into this first one right here, yarn over and pull that through, and then go directly into the next stitch right here and yarn over and pull through. So now we have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. And we just created a single crochet decrease. So we put those 2 into 1 stitch. And now we're going to single crochet in each stitch until there are 2 stitches left. So let me see how many stitches that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So single crochet in these 5 stitches, and there's 2 stitches left here. We're going to single crochet those last 2 stitches together. So go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the last stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Alright, that was row 3. Chain 1, you should have 7 stitches at this point across. Okay, so we're turning our work around after we chained 1. And now for row 4, we are just going to single crochet in each stitch across for 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then chain 1 and turn your work around. Okay, going on to row 5 now. We are going to decrease. Let's single crochet 2 together. So go into this first stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. There's 1 stitch. So we just made 2 into 1, 2 stitches into 1 stitch. Now we're just going to single crochet into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 1, and 1. There should be 2 stitches left here. We're going to single crochet those 2 together. So go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the last stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. So at this point you should have 5 stitches across. Chain 1 and turn your work here. We are going on to row 6 now. We are just going to single crochet across for 5 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now chain 1 going onto row 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. We're going to decrease again, so single crochet 2 together, then single crochet into the next stitch, and then there's 2 stitches left. We're going to single crochet those last 2 stitches together. So you should have 3 stitches on this row. Chain 1, turn your work around. Okay, row 8 now, we are going to single crochet across for just 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Now chain 1, turn your work around, and there's 3 stitches here. We're just going to single crochet all 3 of those together. So just go into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the last stitch, yarn over, pull through. So you have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops. Okay, and there is your first spike. Perfect. Now what we want to do is get down to this stitch right here that's next. Okay, so what we're going to do is slip stitch along this side down to this next stitch here. So I'll show you what we're going to do. If you want to, you can chain 1, but you do not have to. I am actually not going to chain 1. We're just going to go directly right in this spot down here, yarn over, pull through and through the loop on your hook, but do not pull tight. Kind of pull up a loop there, go down to where your hook fits down here, yarn over, pull through and through. Okay, and just do that along the edge of this little triangular shape here. Go down the side. Okay, just pull through and through all the way down to get down to the base here. And our last one will be in this last stitch of this first triangle here. So let's go through and through. Okay, so now we're back to this beginning spot here, this beginning row. So we are going to repeat what we did for this whole triangle for all the consecutive triangles after. So go into this next stitch here and single crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Chain 1, turn your work around. Now repeat rows 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, just repeat all the rows of your spike there, and then slip stitch down the side, and then make your next spike exactly the same way. And do that all the way across until all your spikes are made. And then once all your spikes are made, we still have one more step to do. So I will make all my spikes exactly how we made the first one, and then and you can follow along with the written pattern as well, but I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back and show you what to do next after I finish all of these points of my crown. Alright, I just finished my last spike here, and we are going to still slip stitch down to this bottom portion here. So I'm just going to do that real quick, just like we did for the other spikes of this crown. Spikes or points or triangles, whatever you want to call them. Just slip stitching down this side, and once we get down to this stitch here, I'm going to chain 1. And I'm just going to hold this down for a second so you can see what it should look like. Fabulous. So this is actually the inside. So what we're going to do is turn our work this way, and we are going to single crochet along the top edge of our crown. Okay, so from here all the way across and ending right here. Okay, so I'm going to show you the first steps here. We're going to basically wherever your hook fits is where you should single crochet. Okay, so you know how to do a single crochet already because we did them when we were making the triangles of the crown. So just single crochet along the edge And you can crochet around your slip stitches or avoid them, just wherever your hook fits on the edge here. Just like this. Now when you get to the top points of your crown, these top points right here, go into this top stitch, single crochet, chain 1 or 2, you can chain 1 or 2, and then single crochet back into that same spot. Okay, that makes the point more pointy and beautiful. Okay, and then just go down this edge here, and then the point where you're right between the next point and this point, you're just going, you can do a single crochet 2 together stitch, kind of a decrease, to kind of keep that valley intact right here. So I'm just going to go into this stitch right here, yarn over, pull through, go into the next spot on this next point, and then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, just like that, and then just continue on my way up the next point. Okay, and then when I get to the top of the point, single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet in the top of it, and then come down to the middle of the next 2 here, and right in this area, single crochet 2 together. Then just go up, and then single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then come down, then up, then down, then up, then down. Just do that all the way. Okay, motion sickness. Sorry. Just do that all the way around, across here, and then once I finish going to the other side, I'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so I just single crocheted all the way across here. So I started here, single crocheted up and down all the way across to this point right here, and now we're going to fasten this off. So just slip stitch into this next spot, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook, chain 1, and we are going to cut our yarn kind of long for sewing and pull it all the way through that chain 1 and pull tight. And then what we're going to do is, since this is the outside of our work, we single crocheted this way. If you look at the back of your work, you can't see those same stitches. So I'm going to lay this next to this side. So this side is the front of your work and this side is the back of your work. And you see how the difference is on these on this edge of the piece here? That's how you can tell that this is the front and this is the back. Okay? So because you can see these stitches when you lay it flat like this, you can see these stitches, and on this side, this is the back side, you can't see them. When you flip it, you can see it there. Okay, so that's how you know that this is the back of your work and this is the front of your work. So we're going to be looking, you can look at the front of your work, take this side that has the long strand, fold it over just like this to the other side. So you're looking at the back of your work here. We're going to take that long strand and get our yarn needle, and we are going to sew this closed. Okay, and we're just going to line it up with the opposite side and just whip stitch this. So just go through the same side, just like this, wrap around and pull, wrap around and pull, wrap around and pull, and just keep doing that until you get to the very end here. I'm so close to being done, so you can just continue watching and we'll tie this off. Just go through this stitch and this stitch. Okay, now go through a couple stitches, keep your finger in the loop, come back through the loop and pull tight. And you can do that once or twice. It's secure, so I'm just going to sew in this end underneath these stitches, just so it's hidden and nobody will see that. Okay, perfect. Cut that. And then I also have this little end here, which I want to sew in as well. So just go underneath the stitches and sew that in. Just like that. Okay, then cut this and then flip it right side out and you have a cute crown. Now If you wanted to end here, you can. This is the back of your work where we just sewed that closed. There is a nice crown. If you want to, you can block this. So just lay this flat like this and pin it down to like a towel, spray it with water, and then it will come out looking super nice and perfect how you want it to be shaped. But what I want to do is, since this is part of my son's costume for Halloween, I want to add an embellishment of some fur. So let me grab some fur and I will be right back. Alright, so I just grabbed some of this Red Heart fur yarn here. You can use Red Heart fur or fun fur or eyelash yarn or any fur if you want to. You could end your crown here and have a nice crown, but I want to add the embellishment because part of my son's Halloween costume has the fur on it. So I yarned a needle with this fur, and we're just going to go up through the back in the top three, or the bottom three, sorry, the bottom 3 rows here, 1, 2, 3, and we're just going to, let's see here, I'm going to start right here, and we're just going to go between the posts of the stitches, okay, and I have to pull a lot of yarn through, so I'm going to actually unravel a bunch of this, okay, and I gotta pull it all through. It will be easier if you have help, if you have somebody to help you, but otherwise just pull, keep pulling, and keep pulling. And once you have enough, I know this first part is going to be the longest, but once you get going and about halfway through, there's going to be less and less fur to deal with. So I'm just going to pull this all, oh my goodness, my bad. Maybe we should start. I'm so sorry. Okay, maybe I should just hook it with my crochet hook. It'll probably be easier. Just hook the end. I'm so silly. Okay, crochet mishap. Okay, so I pulled through majority of the. Let's pretend that didn't happen. I pulled through majority of the yarn ball, and now we're just going to wrap around. So I'm going to take that side that I have my yarn needle, and I'm just going to come back underneath from the back to the front, and very next stitch, so just skip that one stitch and just pull. And now that I can't pull it all the way through, it will be much easier here. So let's just keep pulling. It'll be an arm exercise as well. It'll be great for my biceps. And just going back underneath and going to the next stitch on the 3rd row and pulling. Okay, oops. And I'm going to just do that until this skein of yarn is finished, till it is as thick as I want it to be. Now just don't pull too tight where it like scrunches this part up. We will still want this to be flat and thick enough. Okay, just like that. And we're just going to go all the way around. Okay, so next spot right here. I want it to be like super thick, so that's why I'm just sewing this. You could crochet it, but it's very difficult to crochet with this fur yarn. It really is. So I'm just going to sew this in. So this is just an extra embellishment, and I will come back and show you when I am finished how it looks. Alright, so we just sewed all the way around here, and we got back to the beginning. Big thanks to my dad for helping me sew this all in here. He was helping pull all the yarn, all the fur, after I would loop it through. And now I'm just kind of taking each section and kind of just tufting out the fur, so you could do that. And I am going to cut this at this point here. Let me just take my yarn needle off of here so I don't lose that. And I'm just going to cut these 2 strands. Okay, so they're about the same size. And then we're just going to tie them in a knot in the back here. Okay, and you can tie them once or twice. Just make sure they're secure. And then tuft out any fur. Actually, I might do a 3rd time just to be on the safe side. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut these short in the back. Actually, what you can do is take your crochet hook and kind of go through, if you can find it. It's really difficult to see through the yarn, through the fur, but I'm going to try to go through some of the stitches here with my crochet hook and just kind of hook that on and pull it through the back so that these long strands can be sewn in, and then I'll cut them shorter when they're all the way secure and in there for good, so they don't fall apart. That's much easier using a crochet hook than a needle. Okay, almost done. Just have to sew this in a little bit more. Perfect. Stretch it out and then cut this short. And this one short. But there it is. The king crown is complete. It is super fabulous. You can make this along with me for my Halloween costume for my son. You can match this with the Sweet Dream romper and the Sweet Dream bonnet. That is very similar to the character we're trying to create for our Halloween costumes. Or you could just have this for a birthday celebration or a fun little photo prop. This is super adorable. So a big thank you to Red Heart Yarns and Yarnspirations for sending us this yarn so we can use it in our project. Big thank you to my dad for filming, editing this tutorial and posting it on YouTube, and for helping me weave in this fur. It was a lot. Yeah, he's got all the fur that he was using. And also big thank you to you for watching. Before you go, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and until next time, happy hooking!